We're here with Stevie. It's been a while since you saw him. Steve's going to go ahead and give us a layout of what he had packed for this trip and give you his overall views on what to do and what not to do. Steve, the floor is yours.
All right, first and foremost, no one ever calls me Stevie. I'm going to go ahead and start with the pack out on what we took with us and what we actually needed. So looking through everything, we went in a season of the Camino that was expected to be cold. So we brought a few things that most of you wouldn't in the summer, and a few things in which we actually didn't need overall. But I'm going to go ahead and start with my shoes that you can see down there. A lot of people don't recognize about the Camino is your feet are going to spread out. Over time, your feet are going to kind of disperse, decompress, so you need to make sure that you have a lot of room. Either way, your shoes are going to be one of the most important things that you can go ahead and invest in. First and foremost, you want to make sure that they're broken in and make sure that they have a little extra space, because as you're walking, your feet are going to spread out. And when that happens, which is what happened to me, despite having really good socks, which I'll get into momentarily, I got about 10 blisters on my heels, in between my toes, underneath the balls of my feet, like anywhere and everywhere. It was not fun. So good shoes are the most important. Break them in early, break them in often, and make sure that they are very comfortable and they're not going to go ahead and rub or cause any abrasions or friction for you. After that, I went with darn tough socks. Side note, no affiliations with any of these products that we might be talking about. Smart wool's not bad. I heard good things from Cody about darn tough. I decided to go with that because I've experienced smart wool before, and it's bunched up underneath my feet, and it's caused even worse problems that I experienced on the Camino. They're fantastic. You can flip them inside out. You can reuse them day in, day out. They do smell after a little bit of time, but they're phenomenal socks. Okay, continuing on. Personally, for underwear, some people choose to use it, some people don't. I enjoy myself a nice pair of Ranger panties. They're great for doing laundry. You can wear them. They're basically like swim trunks. They're silkies. They're very smooth. They reduce friction or chafing. For pants, we went ahead and looked at a couple of things. What we landed on was a couple of different brands. Anything that you can find that's ultimately going to be zip-off pants will help cut weight. I'm wearing a pair of pants or shorts. Here's the add-ons right here. Very helpful because if it's really warm out, you can wear the shorts. If it gets cold on, you can go ahead and throw those on without adding any extra substantial weight to your pack. T-shirts. I brought 3. This just because I wanted it. One smart wool because I recognized that layering was going to be important, especially within the colder temperatures that you've seen within the videos of snow, high elevations, wind, everything like that. I also brought 2 shirts, 2 long sleeve shirts rather. Those were helpful for layering just because of the cold weather. In the summer, it's really just going to be shorts and t-shirts, so you can get away with a lot of other things. I brought a fleece jacket, not a puffy jacket. Granted, Cody and I are coming from Alaska, so we're very, very used to the cold. And I got away with sub-freezing temperatures with my smart wool shirt here and this long sleeve shirt here. And that was all I needed, okay, with a beanie. The other thing that I would highly recommend is a buff. If you don't want to wear a hat all the time, if you don't want to wear something on your head, you can go ahead and wear it. It works well. Also, there were a couple of days that you saw we were walking along and it was just horrific with the gnats and the flies, and being able to put something over your face if you don't have bug spray handy, just phenomenal. It kept me being able to walk without breathing in gnats, without having them go into my eyes, without going into my nose, my ears. So I would highly recommend a buff. Also, depending on the time that you're going, gloves, paramount, towel, quick dry. Probably does not need to be this size. I've seen several people who got away with much smaller, but I'm a big guy, so I went with that size. One nice shirt. This is nice for the times that you actually want to go out. You want to look presentable. You want to maybe show off to that lovely Camino girl that you may have met on the way, or guy, whatever your flavor is. But a buttoned up shirt that you can also use for layering is very helpful. Continuing on, I went with the poncho route. I haven't exactly landed on what I want or like about that, so I did this for the sake of efficiency, because there were a couple of nights that we ended up sleeping outside. That said, I can lay on that. I can set that up as a half tent cover. I can throw that over my pack and keep myself entirely dry. But that said, its use, its ease, its breathability, there's some downsides to it. Having a rain jacket would have been really enjoyable just because, one, you don't look like, you know, a guy from Friday the 13th. But rain pants and a rain top ultimately can add weight, and they're much more difficult to get on and off. That you can just throw immediately over as soon as it starts raining. I just pivot my pack around, pull that out, throw that back, throw it over myself, I'm good to go. Keep walking 10-15 seconds tops. This is the sleeping bag liner. In the summer, you can get away with this. In the winter, if you anticipate trying to camp, be outside, or anything else otherwise, not worthwhile. It will not keep you warm enough to actually have a good night's sleep. Cody will talk about this later because he actually decided to go ahead and bring the sleeping bag. That was beneficial. I stayed cold. A lot of the different albergues, hostels, hotels will provide blankets as necessary, but not all of them do, so you might find yourself cold if you only go with the sleeping bag line. On that side note, I brought an emergency blanket. This is very helpful in emergency situations. Side note, do not breathe into it because it will hold all of the moisture. And then you're just gonna end up wet and cold in the morning when you wake up. But on the plus side, you'll still be alive. Continuing on with this, you now know of all the clothes that I had. Let me go ahead and cover a little more on the gear and medical supplies that I brought with me. I brought a pillow. It's good on the plane. I didn't end up really needing to use it except for when I was camping outside. Not really necessary if you're looking to cut weight. Phenomenal headlamp. I have a lock function on this so the battery doesn't die. I can go ahead and hold that down. This guy specifically, Black Diamond, highly recommend. For the medical things, I came over prepared. I came with emergency, like super emergency preparation with a flint stick, super glue in case you had to go ahead and seal things up, a tourniquet, a chem light, and a pin. So if the tourniquet actually had to be put on, I could actually let you know when that had gone on as per medical advice. Gloves, bandages, iodine pills, penicillin, Cobain tape. The only things I would actually recommend you taking with you on the Camino that you can't quickly get, because everything on the Camino you can stop into a pharmacia and pick up almost anything that you need, and they are very, very good because they've seen all the injuries that you might come across, and they're very helpful in providing that. I would recommend a sewing kit. Good for taking care of blisters, good for things that might tear. You can get tape there, you can get antibacterial gel, Gold Bond powder. Would not go anywhere without it. Neosporin, very helpful, as well as hydrocortisone cream. If you've been chafing, if you have bug bites, anything like that, if you've been getting infections around your toes, just anything that is antibacterial, anti-itch, very helpful to have along with you. Just make sure that you don't use this as toothpaste, which Cody might go into later. Icy hot if you have some aches and pains. Ibuprofen would be good to have, but you can pick that up almost anywhere. Simple enough. But those very few items are the only things that you actually need on the Camino, because you have quick access to pharmacias almost all the time. There's other people out there who can help take care of you. Your hiking buddy you can split things up with. That said, the last two things that I'll bring up, compression sacks. These are waterproof, airtight, and really go ahead and give me extra space. If I wanted to bring things back home, if I needed to carry extra things from someone else to help lighten their load, very helpful just because they help decrease both the pack size that you're carrying. The other thing that I've really enjoyed is my handy dandy fanny pack. This is an RFID blocking fanny pack, so I can safely keep my credit cards in it, I can put my passport in it, and I don't have any concern about someone scanning it or anything else like that. What I do is I simply put it around my waist, I tuck it around back, and I put it behind, underneath my trousers, above my underwear, so it's still hygienically friendly, but that keeps anyone from being able to access it. That said, if someone can reach underneath my bag, inside my trousers, and or cut and or unzip to get access, well, they deserve it. So those are the fundamental things that I brought. What I realized is I could probably go without one extra shirt. I might switch out on the jacket just for something that's either a little warmer, a little more waterproof, just as necessary, something that has a dual function between the poncho and warmth. Definitely drop a lot of the weight that I had from the medical supplies. 3-4 things, the Gold Bond powder, the anti-itch, fingernail clippers, and sewing kit. Again, that's all I really needed. If it fancies you, a journal, because being able to keep that as you're walking along, just the people you meet, the things you're going through, however you want to process, being able to write through that is very helpful. A book, I brought it. I've talked to a lot of people who brought books themselves, but they didn't end up reading them. I probably made it through about 20, 30 pages of the book that I brought. A little disappointed in myself, but you know, it is what it is. But that said, a good pack as well. Cody will go into the type of pack that he has, the pros and cons between what we have specifically on what's breathability and what's not. But that is, for the most part, everything that I brought. And yeah, sunscreen, if you're fair skinned, would also be important. But I had some good time to tan up beforehand, so I was prepared for the moment, and that's it.
Awesome.
Camino.